Let's talk about some Super Bowl here. The Cincinnati Bengals, Steelers fans, a little upset about it. I will tell everybody, I'll be super honest right now. TJ Watt's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Excuse me, TJ Watt is the Defensive Player of the Year. And when that bet that I made before the season cashes out on TJ Watt claiming his title as Defensive Player of the Year, all the winnings of that bet will be placed on the Cincinnati Bengals because I'm heavy Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. People are going to hate me for it. It is what it is. I don't care, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell everybody how it is. If you're thinking about who to put money on in the Super Bowl, Joey B is my guy. I want to talk about the quarterbacks. Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, which kind of ties into what you're going to bring up. I just can't root for the Bengals. I cannot root for the Bengals, bro.
A lot of people can't. Like, I think is it
like the fans? Joey B's fun to watch. Jamar is a stud. But I can't root for them. If they win, whatever. Like, I'm not like super pissed off and crying into like a terrible towel at night. But I mean, I hope they lose.
Okay, I will say. Okay, so and in the comments, I'm seeing the Stafford deserves a ring. I will say that. I would love Aaron Donald to get a ring. I think he deserves it. I think Matthew Stafford deserves a ring. It would be a shame if he didn't. That being said, a lot of people are like, Hall of Fame career Matt Stafford. Hold the horses here. Pump the brakes a little bit. We've got to talk about that one a little bit. Yeah, that one have to go a little bit deeper than, you want a Super Bowl ring, put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, relax. Yeah. Would love to see Cooper Kupp get a ring. I love Cooper Kupp. I think OBJ, it's like a name that I'm like, okay, if he gets a ring, not upset about it. Not a huge fan of OBJ, but I think that talent deserves success, and I think OBJ is very talented. Von Miller, love Von Miller, and Jalen Ramsey definitely 100% deserves a ring. So there are guys. That being said, Joey B, baby.
How pissed do you think people are going to be whenever Mike Hilton wins a Super Bowl ring? The year after leaving the Steelers.
Dude, that's my biggest reason. Joey B, I could say whatever I want about Joey B. My biggest reason that I want the Cincinnati Bengals to win a Super Bowl is because I want Mike Hilton to win a Super Bowl. Nobody in my time in Pittsburgh has been nicer to me, has been a friendlier face, has welcomed me into the media room more than Mike Hilton. From day one, that dude dabbed me up, gave me a hug, and said, welcome,
not even
and talked to me every single day. Kaboli didn't talk to me for like 6 months. Zach Banner told me I dropped my pocket 10 seconds after I walked into the locker room and I fell for it. And Vince Williams, I'm pretty sure, tried to eat me at one point. It was terrifying. Duck Hodges, too. He was super cool. But, like, I think me and him kind of had the same understanding. Like, yeah, we nobody in here. We are the bottom of the dome.
One of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're being truthful, next season I'm going to be more important than you. So I think he was like, okay, we'll be cool. But Mike Hilton, man, love Mike Hilton. I think he does deserve a ring. There's not really anybody else on that team that I'm just like, go get a Super Bowl ring. But I also think that this is the last opportunity for a lot of these guys because, sorry, but the Bengals are still Bengals, man. And I don't think that this is a franchise in the making.
I don't know, bro. They have all the right pieces to go. Most importantly, a franchise quarterback who looks like he's going to be one of the best passers in the league for a very long time. He's got an established number one weapon. They have a pretty good defense. Obviously, their offensive line can use a little bit of work, but it's what free agency and the draft was for. So, I feel like their front office has done a really good job of putting the right pieces together in order for them to make this run. Can they probably pull this off again? I'm not quite sure because, they did, I don't want to say limp. They did squeeze by, quite a bit in their playoff games to get to this point. But you know what? They're still here. 30 other teams are sitting on the couch eating Doritos, watching them play on Super Bowl Sunday, and they're here. You know what? Good teams find a way to win close games. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I feel like the Bengals are a very good football team, and whether or not they continue it into the future, who knows? Because, the Bengals are pretty much the team that the Browns were supposed to be this year, right?
Yeah. But that's the difference between a quarterback, which is a good way to transition into this. There's a difference between Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow. A humongous difference in a billion different ways. But when it comes to Joey Burrow and Matthew Stafford, two totally opposite ends of the spectrum here. The young buck versus the guy who might be on his last shot to get it. To me, that's a ton more pressure to say Matthew Stafford go win a Super Bowl than Joey Burrow, who's just like, dude, I'm in the second year of the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. I lose a Super Bowl, I'll go to 4 more of them. Matthew Stafford's like, I might retire if I win this game. Is that insufferable pressure? Like, does that take down any confidence that you have in Matt Stafford?
No, but I would definitely agree with you that there is more pressure on Stafford. I mean, Joe Burrow looks like he's going to be around for the long haul, and I just pictured like Burrow with his like full uniform on, like just like dusting off this like big cigar before he goes and like walks into the field. Like the old time quarterbacks you see where it's like then at halftime to like smoke a cigarette with like 3 empty beer cans around like their feet. It's like basically Joe Burrow is like a modern day guy. He's got plenty of time for the future. Matt Stafford, especially with how the Rams are set up to where like all of their chips are in the middle of the table. They have no future whatsoever. Like all their draft picks are gone. They can't retain a lot of the guys they brought in, whether it be through the draft or not draft, but trade or free agency, like throughout the year. Their salary cap is effed. This is the year they have to like make a big push for it. And honestly, man, like if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's gonna be a flop. It's gonna be a flop because I don't know if they can get back.
That's what I'm saying. And that's so much pressure, not just on Matthew Stafford, but on Sean McVay and on that entire Rams team, because you don't think Aaron Donald, which, I don't think Aaron Donald even knows what pressure is. The dude works out with knives just to train. Like if you would tell me, go win a Super Bowl or work out with knives, I'm going to go win a Super Bowl before I work out with knives. Aaron Donald, I don't believe has that pressure, but I think a lot of guys on this Rams team who have been around for the last Super Bowl are looking at this like, dude, we've already been here. Like, and we lost one already. Now we have the pieces. This might be our last shot. And people can say whatever you want. Like, Aaron Donald's 28 years old, I believe. Like, he's got 5 years left in him. And in those 5 years, you can't say that the Rams are going to be this good ever again. So it's a lot of pressure on a lot of these guys. And I think on the opposite end of that, like the Bengals are literally operating off their first year of success in 10 years. And they're just like, yeah, well, this is cool, man. Let's hope that this continues. But like chances are it's gonna. And I just think, I don't know. To me, that puts way too high of a standard on the Rams. And I think that just at some point you're going to choke.
I would agree too on the basis that Sean McVay and company, they've already been to a Super Bowl and they didn't win it. If you go 0 for 2 in the big game, there's a lot of talk around you, surrounding you and talking about how you just can't win the big one. And, how many times are teams and coaches able to get back to the Super Bowl for a third game? It's super rare, man. Super duper rare. So,
dude, people hate Mike Tomlin and say, oh, well, he's 1-1 in the Super Bowl. What? He won a Super Bowl. And people are like, yeah, well, he lost 1 too. If you lose 2 of them, you're done. You have that asterisk on you forever. I don't know if people are old enough to remember Marty Schottenheimer, but like that dude brought. Yeah. I remember I was just getting into football. I was a big LaDainian Tomlinson fan. This dude brought the Chargers like as far as they could possibly go every single year. Lost in the playoffs. Got fired after like a 13-3 season where they were the number 1 seed or something because he just couldn't win. He couldn't win once the games mattered, and that is a huge advantage or disadvantage for Sean McVay because he's going to be thinking about that the entire time.